What's going on, guys? ADHJD. And today, as you can tell from the title, we are going to be talking about a very, very overpowered Naruto jutsu. The Kamui ability of Obito's Mangekyo Sharingan. Now, this overpowered ability, and I mean overpowered, especially even just with one eye, this is either an ability where you can basically make yourself intangible, or you can snipe someone's head off. And together, it's just... We saw how much you can do with two eyes when Kakashi used them. Now imagine that, but with Obito, the original user. But obviously, we're not going to be talking about them together. First, we're going to be talking about them separate. Obviously, with Kakashi and the and the ability that he got, I can only go off of what he's shown to be able to do, because all the rest is just hypotheticals. But with that all being said, let's get to it. First, we're going over some of the, some of the basic stuff, some of the stuff that, both eyes share. So first, obviously the meaning. It means authority of the gods, divine threat, or space-time migraine. Which, dealing with it is certainly going to cause more than a migraine. And having the title of authority of the gods as the meaning of Kamui, that's absolutely fucking insane. Now, this jutsu has no rank, obviously. It's not like it's not... You really can't use it unless you have Obito's Mangekyo Sharingan. So therefore, it has no rank. You can't really use it unless you have the eyes, so it's not like an A-rank jutsu, it's not an S-rank jutsu, it's just a jutsu that no one else can use besides Obito. And, obviously, Kakashi. As for the type of jutsu it is a space-time Kekkei Genkai Ninjutsu Dojutsu. Obviously, Dojutsu means the eyeball. Kekkei Genkai being, just something unique to that specific clan. Obviously, the Sharingan is going to be the Kekkei Genkai part. And space-time, that's the second time we've heard the space-time part. That's because it kind of defies logic. With this eye, you can essentially turn yourself intangible, create or at the other side, you can create a barrier that kind of shrinks and kind of like almost crushes, or it teleports that specific thing into the own pocket dimension. That's another thing. That's where the majority of the space-time kind of ties into it. You get your own little pocket dimension that you can either access or put things into. No hand signs are needed for this jutsu, and it's not any particular release. And the creator of Kamui is obviously Obito. But I mean, creator isn't really the proper term for Kamui, but it's the only thing I can really go off of. Obito awoke the ability, I suppose I should use that term. He awoke the ability to use it, but he's the first person to ever use Kamui. And obviously, the requirements to using either one of Kamui is to either have the right eye or the left eye. Now, let's get to the differences between these two eyes. First, we're going to talk about the left eye. This one was Kakashi's eye. It is a insta-kill move, honestly. It's an insta-kill if you go for the head. Say if you decide to use your Kamui ability, and you wanted to go for your opponent's head. Let's see if I want to go for your head. If I use it properly, and if I'm experienced enough, you're fucking dead. There's absolutely no counter to this jutsu, other than the other eye being used against it. That's another one of its overpowered abilities, but I'll get to that in the pros section. But the uses are obviously insta-kill, trap things or people inside the pocket dimension. The attack can be increased in size or decreased in size to whatever you wanna go after. And it's ranged ability, so you don't have to get up close. You can just use it from a range. And yes, I suppose you can access the Kamui dimension, but it's a lot harder to do. Now, one of the pros to this eye, there's a lot. Insta-kill, not teleportation, insta-kill ability. Again, you can you can use it from range. And obviously, you know, the size can definitely help. You can zap things as big as the ghetto statue with this thing, at least part of it. Also, forgot to mention this. The users of the left eye specifically are Obito, Kakashi, and Imadara. Now the cons. The cons are basically, yes, you can access the dimension, but it's a lot harder to access than if you had the right eye. And unlike the other side, you can't make yourself intangible. And obviously, it's an MS ability, so it's going to take up a lot of chakra, and it's going to drain your stamina. You saw this a lot with Kakashi when he tried to use his MS. I think he used it once or twice, and that he left him hospitalized and bedridden. And also, you know, MS ability, again, it's going to damage your eye, and it's going to lead you to blindness. Now, let's compare the left eye to the right eye. This is the side that Obito possessed. The uses of this little jutsu is intangibility and teleportation. The people that have used this ability, this side of the eye, are Obito, Kakashi, Madara, and Zetsu. Now, what are the pros to this side? Obviously, the intangibility, in my opinion, is the most overpowered thing that this eye possesses. Any attack that goes towards you, unless you have the other eye, you are screwed. Obviously, if you can react fast enough, because there's a con, obviously, to every jutsu, like there's a con. So there's a way to get around it, but it's not a massive con. You can also access the pocket dimension that I mentioned earlier. You can go into this pocket dimension and kind of just camp there for however long you need or can. And, you know, teleportation is nice. Now, the cons. If you want to teleport something with the right eye, you have to physically hold the thing or person that you want to teleport with you. Which is, you have to touch them, which means you have to get into close range, which means you have to make yourself tangible, and making yourself tangible makes you vulnerable to getting hit. If you wish to punch someone, again, you have to make yourself tangible, and you have to put a risk on taking some damage. And the intangibility only lasts for 5 seconds at a time. You can go, if you use it non-stop, you can only use it up to 5 minutes, but that's not really a strong con. You can just reactivate a second later. Now, which of these two jutsus would I rather have? Honestly, I'd rather have Obito's Eye. Obito's Eye is absolutely fucking monstrous. I think it gives you a lot better uses. The teleportation and the intangibility is absolutely broken. Now, what do you get when you have both of these things? Essentially, what you have is a person that can't get hit, but can hit you. A person that can instantly kill you from a range at almost any distance. Can access a pocket dimension, can teleport as essentially anywhere around a short range, while being able to use it for 5 minutes at a time and just instantly go right back to it, and can possibly access the Susanoo. Yup. With Kamui shurikens, so that's another range weapon that this Kamui ability gives you. So yeah, good thing Obito didn't have both of the Kamui eyes, because he might have been the strongest character in the series if he happened to get both of the eyes. And it only gets worse with EMS. It only gets worse if you manage to get the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. I don't want to think about that. But again, if I had to pick one eye, I'd definitely pick the right eye. The right eye gives you intangibility and pocket dimension access and teleportation. Whereas the left eye, yeah, it gives you instant kill ability, like you can use at range. But that's not gonna really do much for me in terms of vulnerability, like everyday life. I can at least use the dimension, the intangibility, and the teleportation in everyday life. That's kind of why I chose it. But yeah, this jutsu is absolutely monstrously broken. It's probably one of the most overpowered abilities in Naruto, and maybe even in Boruto. I think if it was in Boruto, it still would hold up. It would still be able to hold its own against some of the Boruto jutsus. But that'll be all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little breakdown of what Kamui is, and I'll see you all next time. Love you guys. See ya.